think a lot of you already know who is going to be presenting today, but we have Linda Quackenboss. So she is a photographer and it's super exciting. You know her from other areas, but probably you know her from our coffee connection here. And she specializes in construction and architectural photography. And she's taken that drone and added that to her toolbox. So we always hear about drones being a tool in the toolbox. So she's taken her background and she's using it for ongoing projects for general contractors. And if you haven't checked out her website, I encourage you to do so. And she's going to be sharing and telling us a little bit more about her journey. So Linda, thank you so much for joining us. And I
Thank
am going
you.
to make you a spotlight and you can
Thank
share your
you.
screen.
All
All
right,
right,
so
I love
now,
it. I like
are you
it.
seeing it now?
We do. We do.
Ta-da. Okay. All right, so thank you for having me, despite the little technical glitch there going on. If you had told me, and I'm sure a lot of you feel the same way, if you had told me that I was ever going to fly drones, I would have laughed at you hysterically, because that's just not something that ever entered my mind. But I do enjoy it very much, and you'll see why in a moment. I do commercial photography. I've been shooting since I was a little girl. I'm much better now, but I concentrate in construction and architecture, interior design. And actually, I don't get to do the latter two as much because I'm so busy with construction, which is a nice problem to have. So that's me and my phone number. This is me out in the field. And obviously in construction, you need to be wearing your PPE with steel-toed boots and a hard hat and safety vest. And I have a radio there. And sometimes you're off the site in a drainage ditch because you can't be on the site, but it's all good. So this is some of my ground photography at the same stuff that I will be doing drones. Up till this point, we could only fly 30 minutes before sunrise, as you know. So it's up to me to get great shots overnight and then do the drone afterwards. In Las Vegas and in most cities around the country, there is some sort of tourism. So these shots on like these here were done just from the parking lot, actually, of the Las Vegas Convention Center, which is about a mile from the airport and half a mile, a city block from the Strip. So that was kind of interesting shooting that. By the way, this particular shoot was the very first time I ever had a flyaway. So yeah, that not a great place to have that happen. But it does, and you learn from it and you move on. By the way, if you have any questions along the way, please let me know. I'm happy to stop before I go on to the next slide. This particular shot in the middle here of our brand new Las Vegas ballpark, this is a composite of 7 shots. I was at about, I think I was at 55 feet, somewhere around the 50 to 75, something like that. And I just hovered the drone and took images at, obviously at different levels. And then I combined them in post, because if it was one shot, this would be blown out, this would be blown out, all of these various things, you wouldn't capture any of this stuff on there. So a lot of times when you look at shots like this, you say, oh yeah, of course, but it's important for people to know the work that went into it. And that's one of them. So here's some of the stuff that I typically do. This is our beautiful Las Vegas Strip at about 5 in the morning, 5:30. And this is a concrete pour. You can see the huge warehouse that is being poured. They're only going to do this particular night. They were only doing half the slab. They would do the next slab the week later. And they go on from there. But lighting is wonderful to take advantage of. And that's what's always helps make your shots so sexy. So we want to take advantage of that when we can.
Linda, before
Yeah.
we move on further, we have a couple questions already popping up about that
Okay.
flyaway.
Oh, okay.
Everybody went, oh, wow, a
Oh,
flyaway.
all
So can
right.
you share a
So
little
let's,
bit about the flyaway? Did you get the drone back? What caused the glitch? Was it the
yeah.
wind?
Okay. So this flyaway, this was when I was flying a DJI Phantom 4 Pro. And I had it set, I was doing everything in manual. And at some point, it just decided, I was still in the air. I hadn't landed yet because the client was asked, I was actually shooting the front of the convention center. And the client had asked me just to hover and get time lapse so that he could do a shot in post of, the clouds moving and that sort of thing. And the drone just decided I've had enough, and it flew away completely a different direction than I had planned or wanted to go. And of course, all the blood drained out of my head and my face, and I'm going, oh my good Lord, now what do I do? And the good part about that was that the camera was still in mode, so I could see where it was going, even though I couldn't see where it was. I was doing everything that I could to control it. And at some point, all of those things, and at that point, I had true confessions. I didn't realize how to take it out, do Addy, and come back to manual on the DJI. But in spite of not knowing that, I was able to get control over it. It had actually gone around it flew towards one of the convention halls above the roof. So I thought, okay, it's either going to land there or something, because those halls are so big that it would probably run out of battery before it got too far. But at some point, it obviously turned and it came around, and it was behind the our metro, our monorail station at the convention center. So because the camera was still active, I was able to know exactly where it was, and it finally just decided, okay, that was fun. Now what do you want to do? And I was able to get it back to where I was. So that particular one was a good ending, and it did not go because that one was way too close to the airport, really, for anybody's comfort. But I was able to control it, and didn't confess that to the client or to the FAA because I had no accident and nobody was injured. But that's what happened.
Ah, and you regained your composure and
Yes, I
said,
did.
I
At that point,
meant to do that.
I landed it for a little bit and changed batteries, and also took a break in flying, and then I was good to go again.
Whew.
But yeah,
Oh,
so
oh.
that was my first flyaway, and it was a very interesting learning experience.
Ah, well, thank you for sharing that. And now I bet you're really good at flipping from Addy mode to manual.
Yes, yes. So let's see. Okay, so this is a private school that was built here in town, and in marketing purposes, when I'm creating these images, you need to fly and show different views, because different parts of a general contractor organization want to see different things. So it's always helpful when you can show, okay, maybe the guy that's in charge of, the ceiling on the roof or the AC or whatever, he wants to see that. But the marketing people want to see this beautiful shot with, sky. And now it would have been lovely if that parking lot had been washed down, but it wasn't. So say la vie. There's another one coming up that did that. Sometimes I get asked by my contractors to show lots that they're going to build on. Now, this is not surveying in any shape or form. It is simply highlighting where they are going to build and giving an idea to their investors why that is a good piece of property to invest in. So this is in an adjacent city in town called Henderson. Here is the Las Vegas Strip. Here is the Las Vegas Raiders practice stadium. This is the distributor for Smith's Kroger Food, the FedEx facility, one of them here in town, is right here, and one of the Amazon distribution warehouses right here. They are currently building on this property right here, more of this same Amazon. So this piece of property is going to work out very well for somebody. So my clients love to fly, love to build. This is a school that was built in another part of town, and they love to fly near airports. And sometimes I get shots like that. And here I have only an 75 AGL height limit on this because I'm in the direct path of the airport. The other thing that is good to keep in mind, this is that same school that I showed you a moment ago during construction. And a lot of times it's great, an additional revenue stream to contact subcontractors or show them what you have captured on the site. And you can sell this footage separately for them. They love this kind of stuff. It doesn't have to be the most beautiful clip, but this shows for them and their prospective clients that, yes, this is the reason why you have to hire that crane. This is why you have to have so many people on site. This is how many units that you're going to need for this type of building. All of those kinds of things are conveyed in this little clip of video right there. This video, this is that same school a little bit further on, and this video is sped up, as you'll see in a moment, because all the guys will look like ants running around. This is the paving contractor. And if I didn't speed it up, we'd be here for a long time because paving takes long, goes very slowly. But this is kind of a fun thing that gets you to see all the different things that are running in concert while they pave a road.
And
again, you can.
Sorry to interfere, but
That's okay.
We do have a couple more questions popping
Sure.
up for a chat. Do project managers offer subcontractor information? And how much would you charge for something like that?
First of all, I generally get the subcontractor information from my contact, from the marketing person on the project itself. And or a lot of times on the side of trucks, or they'll have signage on the property of different subcontractors that are working the project as well. So you can contact them directly. Something like this, a 10-minute or a 10-second clip like that, I don't know, I could sell that probably for $250 or $300.
And the work was already done. You're just
The work was already done, so it's just extra money. And
do you work with women in construction?
I have gone to some of their meetings. I have not been in as involved in that organization. I am a member of the Nevada Contractors Association, and I interact. I'm very active in that organization. So yes, if you are involved in your market in any of the trade organizations, there's lots of them to choose from. There's steel organizations, there's subcontractor associations, there's electrical organizations. Each trade basically has their own association. So some of these people will be members of multiple organizations, but you just need to find them at once. So what you do is you become the people persons that you are, and you go out and you mingle and tell them what you can do and have a website that shows them, and then, you know, keep following up and offer your services. All right, so this is a video, and the video will look a little bit glitchy, because it's being shown through another software. I promise you it was very smooth when it was delivered to the client. That culvert was important to them because they had to build it in in the ground. And so every time I was out there, they asked me to show it specifically, its progress. Also, when you see these long range shots, do notice the high tension power lines here and here. They were on two sides of the property, so I could only fly on, see them right there, here, here.
Nice action shot in there, Linda.
Some of those shots had to be done from across the street to get the front of the building. So you go and knock on those doors and say, is it okay if I take off on your parking lot? So that was one. Oops, here we go. Here's another clip. Here, this one comes back to the subcontractor thing again. This is one building of 5. You'll see the video in a minute of the completed 5 buildings. But here again, for the concrete contractor, this is kind of a nice clip. I fly these manual, by the way. I don't do this in an orbit, a programmed orbit. This is that same project. This one, by the way, is directly across the street from an airport. Directly across the street. I had a limit of 75 AGL for this.
And what about VOs? What are some of your safety protocols?
I don't put any VO on this. It's just music. That's the way the client wants them. Oh, my VO is in, sorry, I think voiceover.
Oh,
VO, yes, I have a visual observer on this, and I did indoor flying on this when it was finished.
what kind of interference did you get from the inside? Did you have any interference flying on the inside, Linda?
I'm sorry, hang on one second. Pause this. Sorry, what was the question, Desi?
Did you have interference from flying indoors there?
No, actually, that particular flight was with my Autel Evo, and I had no problems at all. I did put bumpers on the drone, but I didn't need them at all. It flew beautifully, and I had no problem at all. So
And,
that gave, go ahead.
and just out of curiosity, I saw that it looked like you had a unique, and now you've talked about the DJI P40,
Yes.
and you've got the Autel. Boy, you have quite a collection.
I have
I'm
5
jealous.
in my fleet. I
Woohoo!
have 5 birds in my fleet.
Awesome.
Oh, sorry, let me go back. This is my pride and joy. This was also this is the last one that I'm going to show. I think how am I doing on time, Desi?
Okay, so we're actually at about 9:30, but I know
Okay.
I keep popping all those questions in there for you.
Okay.
I think it's great information, so I'm sure we could spend a few more minutes.
This is my last video, but this
Okay.
will show you a very big project that was very well received.
So while you're showing your video here, it looks like you were saying that it was completed 4 months ahead of schedule. How long does a project like that normally take? How do you schedule your time
About
to go out?
well, this project lasted about 18 months. And the client kind of dictates, they wanted me out there every month. So sometimes I was out a little more frequently depending on what they were doing on the site. And that's true with any of the contractors. Sometimes they'll have a busier week or a busier month than other times. So they'll have me out more often. But this particular project, I was out there once a month.
And about how long do you spend when you're out there on the site? Is it based on
About an
construction
hour.
level? Oh, okay.
About an hour.
Very impressive.
Almost done. This particular client loves very wide orbits. This one was also flown everything manually.
And do you have a shot list?
No, most often I'm very blessed that my clients say, just go out and do your magic. And they're very pleased with what they get. I always ask for one. And so when she told me specifically that she likes far away distance shots, that's the most direction she gave me. And there you go.
Awesome. Very, very impressive.
So that's
That
me.
last shot that you did, the reveal, like, is so cool how you centered that perfectly. The, background was perfectly aligned. Just that angle was perfect.
Thank you. Yes, that's my advertising and marketing background coming into play, where you
Yeah.
need to be able to show everything, give the white space so that everything, just shows
Well, I guess
beautifully.
we got to have Linda on for marketing. She has that background.
Wow,
So-
that was fantastic.
Yeah, she
That
Thank you.
was great. A lot of great comments and questions in there. Everybody's saying very cool, impressive. Thank you for sharing about
Thank
just
you.
the whole mission that you do. And I did put your information into
Okay.
the chat. Because I encourage everybody to go check out the website that you have. It's beautiful photos.
And it's
over
not
there.
even updated. I'm terribly far behind on getting my website updated. It's like the cobbler's, children, their shoes go without and the clients get everything what they need first. So that's where I am on that.
I think that's a common scenario with everybody here that just gets put to the side, and we're all focused on running the business and making it
Yeah.
happen. So
Yeah.
I'm hopeful that in the future we have something coming up here with the Coffee Connection that might be able to help us out in that way.
Yes.
So, awesome. Well, thank you so much, Linda.
Thank you.
It was
Thank you very
fabulous.
much. It was an honor
A lot of
to show you.
good information. That kind of wraps it up.